play around with putting our own face into a piece of fruit, much like Morimura has done in his works. If we go back and look at his actual work here, so he's used his own face into these bits for the appropriation of the Cézanne work, and so we're going to have a go at this sort of idea, but putting our own face into the fruit today. So if we go back to Photoshop, there's an example that I've already done. I've used a pineapple, and I'll just briefly break that one down, and then we'll do an example. So if we just turn off all the layers, the basic layer is our pineapple. You'll notice that I have a copy of the layer 1 copy, and if you look very carefully, you can see that it's really see-through. It's only got an opacity of 8%, and I've used that to help blend in the images. So the photo I used was that one there. I took my face out of that. And if we look at the face, there it is there. You'll notice it's fairly see-through. I have tried to blend it right in. So if I open the back layer and that top layer, just looking at what it is there, you can see the face is pretty well blended into the pineapple, but I've just added this extra layer over the top just to get that little bit of slight texture over my nose and bits of my face, so it looks like my skin is made of pineapple. If I take that out a bit, it's not quite as obvious. So this is really about some very subtle use of the opacity of layers and subtly using your brushes and so on. So this is my sample that I worked on. So I'll just get out of that now, we don't need that anymore. And I'm going to use this apple here, so I'll open this apple in Photoshop. You'll notice the other one didn't have a background because it was a PDF file, a PNG file. It doesn't really matter what you use for this. So there's a nice apple. Now, I wanted to get a portrait of myself, and I'm going to go up to an old one without a beard, just to make this one a bit easier. So I drag it and drop it. So there it is, horrible thing that it is. So there's my portrait in there. Now, I need to get rid of all my background, so I can use the eraser tool if I want. In fact, the eraser tool is most probably easier than the object selection tool. So I'm going to go to my eraser tool. Now I can't do much yet. I've got to rasterize the layer. You can see that little mark down there, Smart Object. So I go to rasterize the layer. So there we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of bits that I don't want. So I've got quite a good big soft eraser tool. I'll bring my opacity right up to 100% for that. I want it normal. And I'm going to start erasing what I don't want. So quickly erase around my head. I really only want this part of my face in here. So I might even use a hard edge tool around this soon. I'll make this smaller. Just get rid of the blue. I don't want any of that blue there. I don't want my hair. And where do I want my neck? So you can see already it's starting to blend in a little bit, which is handy. Get rid of most of that. I'm really after just the lips, the nose and the eyes. My glasses are a bit of an issue, but we'll just have to deal with them. So just carefully getting rid of all that. Now what I need to do is I need to make it a bit bigger. So we go transform and scale. There it is. And making my face bigger. I can use the navigator here so I can see more. Try and make my face as big in the apple as I can, as much as I can get away with. Move that there. Really pushing the limit of it. Okay, I think I like that. Yep, that'll do. So that's the size I'm going to work with. Now I've got to get rid of what I don't want, so I'm going back to my eraser tool. I might make my brush a bit smaller here, and I might drop my opacity back so I don't get too vicious. Dragging back, some of this away here. The shadow on the apple in this picture is actually causing me to get some good images. Going a bit fast, the old computer's spinning wheel of Macbeth happening there. Just click that close, nothing was happening. There we go. I really don't want too much detail there. Oh, that's looking good. I'm going to drop the opacity even more here because I don't want to take too much away. That's better. And it's really, a lot of this is just playing around with carefully removing bits, but not too much at a time. It's about being subtle and just exploring what you can. By playing around with the brush size and taking that little bit away, I'm starting to get the apple showing through, not totally, which is what I want. I want the look of the apple skin blending into mine, but not all of it. So just fiddling with that. Now, that's starting to get pretty close. The face is blending into the apple quite well, but I still need to do a little bit more. So I'm going to go to my background and I'm going to duplicate the background layer and I'm going to put it on top. Now I'm going to make it opaque, go to my opacity over in the corner here. I want to pull it down. Now I can play around with that a bit more, so that doesn't look too bad. But then I can get my eraser tool again and I can just go over some of these areas if I want to stand out more on my background copy. So I'm actually erasing the top layer so you're not seeing as much through it. I've only got 10% on my brush there, so I might want to play around with it. When it's turned those other layers off, you can see here where I've erased through. Just play with that. It's all very subtle. And we eventually come up with something that's not too bad. I quite like the water droplets over the face, so I might even just leave that there. And there we go, there's my face in the apple. You can have the background off if you don't want that here at the top layer off, but I think you do need that layer over there. You can drop the opacity down even more if you want it to skin through still. But I had about 30% before, and I think that works reasonably well. So that's how we create our my face on a bit of fruit. Now the aim of here would be to practice doing this on different sorts of fruit, like I've already done, because you are going to be putting your face, human features, animal faces, a combination of that all into a big still life coming up pretty soon, which will be the next task. So have a go at this, have a couple of goes, and let's get your skills such that you can do this quite easy. If you haven't got a photo of yourself handy, use your webcam and photo booth. So use your photo booth, take your photo. Now, to get it out, quite simply, just drag it and drop it. See, there it is there. And you can use it there, or you can drag it straight into Photoshop if you wanted to. So I'll just, if you want to drag it in as a layout of Photoshop, there it is there. Okay? So, so that's not too hard, so you're going to always be able to do a photo of it. Okay, have a go, do a couple of versions, a couple of variations. Try different angles of your face too, don't always be front on. Try and match the angle of your face to the angle of the bit of fruit. And see how you go.